and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours! There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not. Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's great.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares partially. And it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Back for another banger stream on MCG. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Look, we don't have much activity on chain here. Robinhood cooling off. We even see, Solana cooling off, but we see some rumblings, still some things happening on chain. Excited to share that with you guys as well. But how you guys doing? What you guys been up to? Anything you guys have been trading? I heard there's a TikTok meta on Solana. Not really sure how long that lasts. But yeah, let me know what you guys are trading. I mean, things seem kind of tamer, calmer, chiller today. But hope you guys are doing well. I don't know if you guys saw the latest MCG, the latest tweet on MCG. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys here. Bang. Let me actually, did I share that on screen? I did. So we're actually cooking on some things in the background here on MCG. Just got some brand new NVIDIA hardware. So the team is definitely cooking. Can't wait to see, can't wait to share this with you guys, when the time is right. But should be something that will be huge, as a huge help for you guys. Again, we just want to add value. That's all. We just want to add value. And we think this product is something that will help with that. But you guys see the title, right? Robinhood ecosystem dumping. Really, everything is dumping, and maybe we take a look at that on the macro side here. So we have Bitcoin. I mean, I've been talking about this for a while. You guys are probably familiar with this terrible drawing that I did, but we took the trip from the green box up to the red, and now we're in the red. The plan is just to go back to the green, right? Very, very simple. We have a ton of built up liquidity here below 59K. We have some below 58K. So I think at some point we do grab at that liquidity. The only thing that we haven't done that I initially wanted us to do was up here above 67.2K. I really wanted us to take that liquidity up there. But we haven't. So I'm leaving, a version in the future, or a possibility open to still sweep that liquidity above 67.2, and then we go down. But ultimately, the path or the road ahead still leads the same way, in my opinion. Sub 60K, maybe even further into the 50s, like 55K perhaps. And we'll see if we get that in August, like I think we'll get. Crypto Jones, no sweep of 67K. Yeah, I'm really hoping we get that. Or I should say, I'm still leaving that as a possibility, like I mentioned. But that essentially the market goes from liquidity to liquidity. That's how markets work. That's how all of these things happen. How price moves based on institutional demand and all this other stuff. If you know ICT, then that's kind of my trading system and how I like to view markets. So shout out to Trader Main. But yes, still leaving the door open for a sweep of 67.2K, but ultimately the road ahead is still leading us to sub 60K. Let's look at some other stuff here real quick. I want to take a look at Ethereum. We broke out here. Still haven't. Oh, we did kind of retest that a little bit there. Ethereum actually looks very, very nice here. We've essentially broken out of that downtrend that we've been in since January this year, right? We've been making lower highs. Let me see here. So as you can see, we made this high, then we made this lower high here, then another lower high here. So I want to see when do we make a higher high? Right here we have a low, and just like we've been making lower highs, we've also been making lower lows as well, right? Lower low there. And so really, now that we've broken this downtrend, I want to see us make a higher low, ideally in this green box here, and then we shoot for a higher high. That's essentially what I'd like to see happen here for Ethereum. But I think ETH is in a wonderful place. A lot of people might disagree with me. I wonder if what you guys think. Is the launch of Robinhood chain gonna kind of re-stimulate demand for ETH, the asset? With ETH being locked up for liquidity, ETH being used in all these DeFi pools or what have you. Crypto Jones, good questions. Do you think we see an ETH outperformance of BTC in the next couple of weeks? Well, let's take a look. So we know the overall view of ETH from a macro perspective, right? It's been making lower highs, lower lows. We have now broken the downtrend. So the next thing to do is to make a higher low and then go into a higher high to really change that trend and that structure. So will ETH outperform Bitcoin? Well, let me remove this. Let's go on a high time frame and let's see what ETH BTC says that we'll do. Ultimately, ETH BTC, if you guys don't already know, it's ETH paired with Bitcoin, and it shows us it's been a really good chart to indicate altcoin season in the past. But I think now it's just more so. I personally, I think it's just better to view it as a way, use it as a way to see if ETH will outperform Bitcoin. And right now, we're still coming up against that resistance. We've been in a downtrend since, wow, December 2021. Um, and let me see here. Let's go to, we're on the monthly. Um, yeah, I mean, we made this ultimate low here. It looks like we're trying to form a higher low, but still watching for that breakout. So that's what I'm looking for on Ethereum. Let's maybe go into the weekly to see if there's anything noteworthy. I like to go real high time frame on a lot of these charts, because low time frame doesn't really do much, and honestly has a lot of noise. But looking at the ETH Bitcoin chart, I think this is like do or die for Ethereum right here. We're pressing up against resistance, the same resistance we've been fighting for, fighting since 2021, essentially, December 2021. So, I think this is a key turning point. If we can break out of this downtrend, that's exactly what ETH needs to do at this moment. But not going to, again, you guys know me. I'm not in the game of predicting price. Oh, price will do this. No, because I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know the future. So what we're seeing here is, basically you have, let me go back to the monthly here. You basically have, Ethereum, ETH BTC has essentially done something pretty interesting. Um, so we've rallied up. We've kind of cleared this local high here. We've kind of cleared this right here, because this was a high. We cleared that right here. And we've come back to retest a key order block, a monthly order block here. And you guys know, if you know ICT, I use these order blocks on these majors. But now we've retested this order block. It looks like, again, we've formed this low. We've now formed a higher low. So the next thing to do is to form a higher high. So, with the strength of this chart, it looks like it's ready to make a higher high, right? It looks like it's ready to outperform. So in my opinion, with the fundamental side, stimulating demand for Ethereum through, DeFi on ETH, through the Robinhood launch. There's a lot of things going on Robinhood under the hood. You see what I did there? There's a lot of things going on there on Robinhood that I think is pretty noteworthy. So that could drive demand for ETH, and that could lead ETH to outperforming Bitcoin. We see that ETH is already in a pretty decent position on the monthly. I've told you guys that, again, you see this order block, same thing, that same order block system that I used there on the other chart. You see this order block here. We've now retested the order block, right? And when you go down to even lower time frame, all we need to do now is make a higher low and then lift off, right? So as Bitcoin is dumping off, we know that we're expecting Bitcoin to go sub 60K. Really, what ETH needs to do here is just to dump less, right? It needs to hold up better versus Bitcoin, form that higher low, and then when Bitcoin actually rallies, we can probably see an even more powerful move take place for Ethereum. So yeah, could ETH outperform BTC in the next few weeks? I think it could. There's definitely there's a lot of things that kind of point in that direction. But from a probability standpoint, definitely want to leave room for Ethereum to still take some time. I mean, at the end of the day, like I mentioned, we're still pressing up against this resistance. We've rejected off that resistance every time, over the last 5 years almost. So we have to kind of respect the trend until the trend is broken. So, but definitely with this powerful move and this higher low, it seems like the probability of a breakout is higher than a probability of a rejection, in my opinion. So yeah, we definitely could outperform over the next couple of weeks. All right, so that's kind of macro. Got some there's some stuff going on chain that I want to take a look at. But before we do, you already know we have to do the housekeeping. So there's 100, almost 20 of us in here, and we just started up the stream not just a few minutes ago. Um, so all of us here, you already know. Let's all go to @MCG Live. Let's make sure we're hitting the follow button there. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We were a little late today. My apologies. Had some working on some stuff there, but we're here now. Go to @MCG Live. Make sure you're hitting follow. You want to scroll down. Thank you so much for 13.2K. This was 10K not too long ago. So we really appreciate the follows, appreciate the support. You want to go down, and then you want to hit like and retweet on our stream. Go ahead and hit like and retweet. Let all the homies know that we are live. We're sharing alpha, and we're covering all the latest and greatest things happening on chain. So be sure to go ahead and get that housekeeping done. I mean, as far as some things that I'm noticing on chain right now, we talked about, you might have seen my my tweet yesterday, and maybe I show you guys that here. But you might have seen this tweet that I had about Cesar. I think that's, or Cesar. I think it's Cesar. Not really sure how I actually pronounce it. But here is the there you go. So you guys can actually see. Here is here's some things that I'm looking at on chain. So real quick, let's just kind of set the stage. You see the title, Robinhood ecosystem dumping. Here's my plan. Now, really, the reality is the entire crypto market is dumping. So the best thing that I think that you can do right now is take a step back from the market, analyze your portfolio. Where are we now? Where are we going? And is your portfolio ready for that? Where are we now? Obviously, we're in a pullback. And so pullbacks provide entries on great projects, undervalued and overlooked tech. This tends to be the right time as, people lose their minds, as people, kind of get zeroed out, or as people just kind of rotate to the new pairs, which we'll cover some new things happening on Solana as well. But the rotations will kill many people's portfolio. But smart money takes a note of, what did I like when prices were going up? What teams are still building now that prices are down? And what catalysts can reignite interest and attention in some of these projects and perhaps stimulate growth? That's really what we're trying to look for now. And I told you guys, when Robinhood is going up, you want to take a notice of everything that's going up. Just put it all on a watch list and then come back to it later. And that's essentially what I've done. And I've cleaned out the watch list. I've made sure to, delete any projects that, perhaps the team is no longer building. Maybe they rugged, or whatever the case is. Just kind of make sure we're consolidating our focus on some of the most interesting things happening on chain. And Cesar is one of them. So essentially, Cesar is a launch pad, and it basically has this new mechanism that we haven't seen before, which kind of made it super interesting for me. But they use Uniswap v4 hooks, and some like buy and burn kind of tokenomics, to allow the protocol to own its volatility and basically use every trade to create this price floor that always goes up. So instead of relying on the age-old bonding curve and just kind of throwing this new twist on it, it's an entirely new market primitive. And I think new market primitives are the key in this environment. We see a few new primitives being built right now. We've talked about it before, right? RWA-Fi, using RWA and tokenized stocks in order to create new DeFi mechanisms. Like we even see that happening with FWA. That's not tokenized stocks, but it is a new sort of primitive on chain. AJC from Blockworks described it as the Uniswap V2 moment. So I think that's really interesting. So RWA-Fi, you have RWA memes. We've talked about the AI meme as well. And maybe we even look into some of the recent news at some point that's come out there for AI. Apparently, they're doing building baskets. So I think RWA memes. I think that's something that's really interesting. I think the MetaDAO ecosystem is really interesting here. We're seeing MetaDAO actually get a little bit of a pump here today. So I think I've literally I just said this. What was it on Monday? MetaDAO will continue to be sort of this oasis on Solana, unruggable tokens in an ecosystem where, you know, kind of pump fund dominates on Solana. A lot of these tokens are subject to a lot of like these PvP sort of mechanics and behavioral patterns with traders, a lot of mercenary capital there in the trenches. But when it comes to MetaDAO, there are these like really great businesses, really great launches that are coming out. So I think that's going to end up being the sort of like oasis, like I mentioned in the PvP land, in the trenches over there. So yeah, RWA Fi, RWA memes, MetaDAO ecosystem, and then new market primitives. Like any new market primitive, I think one of them is Cesar. This sort of like increasing price floor. I've seen this. I've seen this idea and this concept. I saw this get used, and I saw a team try to experiment with it years ago. The problem is the tech wasn't, the tech wasn't there. The tech wasn't there, but now with Uniswap V4 hooks, it actually makes it very, very interesting. And we can maybe even talk about what Uniswap V4 hooks are real quick, because I did do a post about that this morning, because I didn't really know exactly what was the innovation, what was so exciting about Uniswap V4 hooks. And here's what it is. Basically, you had these pools that can simply swap tokens, right? Buy and sell, buy and sell. But this hook allows for like an optional external plugin that developers can like basically run custom code to make the pools do something at certain moments. So stuff like limit orders, dynamic fees, maybe fees go up and down at certain points, yield generation. All these things are now made possible without having to build an entirely new DEX. Because before, if you needed limit orders or anything else on top of Uniswap, you would need you would essentially need to build an entirely new decentralized exchange. So instead of forcing developers to build all of that from scratch, they created Uniswap V4 hooks to allow developers to kind of just run some code on top of the Uniswap pools, on top of Uniswap itself. And, obviously that's safer. That's more secure. Like Uniswap's been battle tested, been around for years. And so that's really the innovation there with Uniswap V4 hooks. And, essentially a protocol like Cesar is using these hooks in order to stimulate a rising price floor. So like at first I told you there's like these like sort of like these tokenomics that Cesar has that basically takes half of every net buy and puts that back into the chart. So 70% of the 1% fee on every trade gets kind of put back in ETH to support the floor. And so that's why every single trade ends up pushing the floor higher. So I think that's really interesting. We've even seen some other protocols pop up. I think one was called Sling, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But that went from that was on ETH mainnet, and there's literally no one on ETH mainnet. There's no one on ETH mainnet doing anything really. But apparently this it's called Swing. It's called Swing. Let me show you guys the chart, because this chart is actually pretty crazy. Let's see here. Boom. Dude, look at this chart. Look at this freaking chart, bro. How high did it go? Oh my goodness. So as you can see here, this went from let's call it 800K for now. Obviously it started much lower, but it went to 15 mil, clean 16x there of a run. Crazy work. But But V4 hooks seems to be something that, teams are starting to experiment with, and the market kind of likes these primitives that are being created. Um, and Cesar is actually doing this thing where you can actually, there's tokenized stocks that are included in that as well. There was actually a comment here that um, yeah, Game actually pointed this out. Really, I saw this tweet here, via the Discord. The Discord brought this to my attention. They said, look at point five. It mentions anyone can launch a floored token. Launchpad mode open to all. Floor assets can be ETH or tokenized US stocks. Half the revenue buys back and burns the token SZR, tying the whole ecosystem together. So there's a lot of like other different things going on. Um, so you can see here that bots can't snipe prices from other routes. Half of issuance funds locked as floor reserve. So every time ETH comes in from minting, half is permanently locked into the reserve. So there's this mechanic that's able to build this floor up, but then there's also the pairing with a tokenized stock that's also very, very interesting. So again, a lot of interesting protocols being built, on Robinhood, on ETH mainnet. A lot of interesting things, and I think these are the things we should be paying attention to. These are the things we should be paying attention to right now as prices, are much, much lower. Top Fumbler, GM, bro. Good to see you. Ave the Brave, our loyalist there on YouTube. What's up, Big Chill? What's happening? Hope good to see you. Little preview on the stream today. So today's stream is going to be going to be short and sweet. We'll have Josh join us here in a few minutes. GM. Big GMs in the chat. Big GMs. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, Josh will be joining us here in just a few minutes. We'll have our first interview coming up in 5 minutes with Impulsor. We know that there's been some exciting things going on over there. We even saw the ace round announcement a few weeks back that caused some movement on the chart as well. So excited to talk to them. Real quick before we go into the interview, though, we have that interview coming up in 5 minutes. I want to just go through the MetaDAO eco real quick. See, I saw that MetaDAO was up. Let me see. Looks like Umbra, because I also have Umbra and one other on this list. I'm not sure what was the other one. But we see Avicii, but Umbra and some of the others, I guess the volume is so low that Dex Screener isn't even picking them up from what it looks like. But here is the MetaDAO. Here is the MetaDAO chart. Let me just check this out real quick, what it did on the fibs. Yeah. I'm noticing that like the way to use this like 0.786 and this 0.886 level is just literally buying in between both. Like buying in between like this is probably like the highest R&R area on chain. I think, ICT for majors and stuff, that pullback's a little bit dramatic, but for on chain where we have a lot of these volatile moves, I think I've been noticing that. So just saying that for those you guys who want to take note. Daddy Duster, GMCG, good to see you guys. Good to see you guys, bro. But yeah, MetaDAO looks really interesting here. Obviously, I love their platform. We've talked about that, and I've tweeted about them a lot. Excited to see how their ecosystem can kind of thrive. Let's take that off the list, shall we? Yeah, excited to see how they can thrive their MetaDAO. Let me check. Let's just do like an ecosystem wide check. Let's see like what everything else is doing. Sometimes I like to do this. Just check all the charts, see what's down, see what's up, see what's in key areas. TCG right back in the bid zone, the ultimate bid zone. Let me see here. Not much happening there. Let's look at some meme coins, I guess. Obviously, you can't look at Solana without looking at meme coins. Looks like Ansem is ready for ready to make new highs. Let me see. Let's see here. Let me see if the fibs even say anything on this golden pocket retest for the most part. Let's go on the 12 hour. Let's see. Yeah, cluster of buy and sells here. Not a bad place to bid. Um, even got another pivot. Even got another pivot here as well. But I mean, honestly, Ansem looks like it's ready to make new highs. I wonder if it's broken the downtrend yet. Let me check on this. Yeah, looks like it's actively breaking the downtrend right now. So I think Ansem actually might take off here. Might take off. MetaDAO recently listed on a major exchange. Yeah, I forgot what exchange it was that I saw. But I saw that was driving some volume here. Let me see if I can find out which exchange that they got listed on. I can't see the exchange, or at least not from a quick view on not from a quick view on Twitter. Do you know which exchange, Crypto Jones? Yeah, I think Ansem, if you're interested in meme coins on Solana, I definitely think Ansem is one of your safer bets. And here's the reason why. Ansem has 1 million followers, and we've talked about this before, but just not going to say the whole thing, go through the whole thesis here today. But the crux of the thesis is Ansem is a big figure on CT. He's well respected. I doubt he sacrifices that reputation for this individual meme coin. I mean, he has a lot of things going for him. Successful podcast. He has the bullpen product. He also now has Ansem, where he can basically perpetually airdrop holders for their activity, or airdrop, potentially, he can really do anything. I mean, for all we know, Ansem can. I think I've seen him wanting to airdrop builders for building something for the Ansem token. So I think there's a lot of ways that a lot of levers that you can pull, a lot of different directions he can take this. And he realizes that this is only possible by means of the good reputation that he has, and the reputation of being a good trader that he has. So when it comes to meme coins, I think that this is probably one of your safer bets, in my opinion. Could it go potentially lower into the green that we see there? Yeah, potentially it could. But I think DCAing Ansem is a really good idea here. Just if you want exposure to the kind of less riskier side of the trenches, the meme coin kind of activity happening on Solana, because I think Ansem's motion isn't gonna cool off anytime soon. I mean, I think he has a really good way of um, not only getting that attention initially, but also keeping that attention and sustaining it over the long term. So, I think that's the thesis there for Ansem. And obviously, if Ansem is starting to kind of like go up, I think other meme coins would go up. We talked about the triple T. We've talked about um, some others as well. But still, Degens will do what Degens do. They'll 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 do short term games. They'll pump and dump meme coins. So I think that's still going to be a risk. Obviously, I think all of us know that there's a risk for that. Um, there's a risk of that when you think of trenching with these meme coins. Really, I like Brody here as a meme coin though. Here on Robinhood. Really, really like where it's sitting here. I'm not gonna lie. So I think this one actually might be a bid for me at some point or another. But that's it for the meme coins. Really, you think new all time high for Ansem? Absolutely, absolutely, 100,000%. I don't think. Again, I think he's really good at not only gaining attention but sustaining that over a long period. I mean, he sustained attention, ever since the whiff days, right? Like, it's very cool. I've seen someone call Pepe sub 1 mil, sub 500K actually. they call Pepe, and obviously we know Pepe to be like the multi-billion-dollar meme that it is today. But that person, they aren't as popular now as they were perhaps when the price was going up. We've seen WIF, go up. It's now cooled off heavily now. It's nowhere near where it was, but Ansem has maintained that attention over time. So I think, as markets shape up, as the vibes on chain start to shift, I think a lot of that attention can be directed towards Ansem. I'd take that bet. I don't think we get new all-time high on Ansem. Let's see. Let's see. I think I'll take that bet though. And I'll take that. I'll even juice it up for you. I'll even say this. I think Ansem makes a new all-time high, within the next 3 months. I never usually do time, but I think on chain has bottomed. I think Bitcoin is coming into a bottom here in August, and I think as we go into the next few months, I think we can definitely see a reversal for many prices on chain, not just Ansem, but I think it would also include Ansem. So yeah, definitely. Well, guys, it's 1:18. We have the Impulsor team with us, and they've been patiently waiting in the the waiting room there. So let's go ahead and make a quick shift to our next segment. And yes, Crypto Jones Collector Crypt does look good here. We'll probably take a look at the chart afterward. But let's go ahead and tee up our next interview. So we have the Impulsor team. As you guys know, they actually launched live on stream last year. So for all the new viewers out there that might not be familiar with some of our coverage that happened last year, actually that particular stream did really, really well. I think that was like one of our all-time high, one of our top streams in the history of MCG. But the team has been pretty much grinding, heads down, building. We've had them on stream a few times, so I know you guys are pretty much familiar with what Impulsor is, but happy to get them on now. We've had some key updates over the last few weeks and months that I think kind of changes the game a little bit for Impulsor. So I want to get their thoughts on where they are now, where they're headed, the progress they've made on the tech side, and just kind of get us fully caught up. So let's go ahead and invite Roman up from the Impulsor team. Roman, how are you, brother?
Good, but my God, is it hot in Switzerland at the moment? But otherwise good. We're not allowed aircon, so I'm suffering.
No aircon in Swiss?
No, it's not eco-friendly, right? So supposedly. So we are all suffering here. It's 35 degrees all day long. So it's a bit rough, but otherwise we're good. We're good. How are you guys?
Awesome. We're good, man. We're good. MCG is growing at an incredible rate, and we're just enjoying it, trying to stay consistent, building out into some new products. A lot happening on our side as well. But really excited for this interview here today. I mean, the chat is buzzing. GCPT in the chat. GCPT. But excited to have you back on and ready to kind of dig in here. For anyone that might not be familiar with who you are, Roman, and I know many of our more consistent viewers are, but just give a little brief sentence or two about yourself, what you guys are building at CPT and at Impulsor, and then we can transition into like some of the major updates that you guys had.
Yeah, so Impulsor started off as a broad range of wireless power transfer technologies. We weren't concentrating on just the electronics, but actually on developing the products themselves for end users. So what is wireless power transfer? Yeah, it's the transmission of energy without the need for wires. So we can do that using a multitude of various methods. Now, since earlier this year, we have pivoted to effectively be a US based defense technology company. This was like a decision by our CEO, Patrick Sang. I guess most of the viewers would also know Patrick. Serial entrepreneur. He's taken a couple of technology companies public, done several IPOs. I think his most successful IPO was in 2020. He took a company, a tech company that he led a VC fund for $10 million. And in 24 months, they went public and he did a $10 billion exit. So he's, as I think I think someone actually on MCG described him as a S-tier founder. So he's really good. He's well known broadly, maybe one of the best CEOs to lead a highly innovative technology project. So with that pivot to US defense, we've had to do a lot of changes. That's kind of why we had a period of time when we were a little bit quiet. We were trying to rearrange things and restructure, transfer a lot of know-how over to the US team. We're still building out the US team. So yeah, I thought today would come on and have a longish chat, or however long you'd have us for, and we can go through kind of what's been happening for the last I don't know, I guess 4 months, 3 months or so.
Yeah. So when was the last time we had you on?
I don't
Do you
know. It was a
remember?
long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since we've gotten the update from you guys. I know I saw some exciting things. One of them being the Ace Round announcement. So I'll let you kind of choose where you want to start in the stream of time with all the updates. A lot has happened.
Yeah, so I think the most consequential change that's happened is our pivot from a broad range of applications into a more focused company, really focusing on defense tech, focusing on robotics, drones, autonomous systems. And with that, we had to do a lot of restructuring internally. I do think it's definitely for the best. Patrick, I think we all have to see Patrick's expertise, his skill set about delivering on these sort of technology projects and finding the most exciting high growth markets. And right now, autonomous defense, those are the two buzzwords in the US at least, that are driving some really very high multiples on valuations. And that's something that Patrick wanted to get involved in and really focus on. So actually, if you can, Chill, please, can you show our new website, actually? So we have a new website as well to coincide.
Yeah.
Are you able to bring it up?
Let me pull that up for you right now.
The audio again. My goodness.
Let's see here.
I'll bring the curse back, you know what I mean?
No curse. You sound amazing. I saw the new branding as well. Oh man, look at this website, huh? All right, cool. Let me do this. So Roman is going to rejoin us here in just a moment. And while we wait for him, let me go ahead and also prep the site. All right, cool. So we have Roman back in the waiting room. Let's pull him up there.
I don't know what happens. I always break the audio, right?
All good. All good. Here we are.
That's the new site.
This looks beautiful. So when did the site go live?
Just a couple of days ago. Yeah, please guys explore it. I think there's some DNS issues, so you'd really have to type in www.impulsor.com. They're working on the back end to work out those DNS issues. But yeah, that's a new site. Chill, if you can, please go to the team section.
Team section. Let's see here.
I think there's a hamburger at the top there. Leadership. There we go.
Leadership
Section. It's so new, I don't even know it. So we have
sang
Patrick,
mode.
sang moding there. I think the AI gave him a bit broader shoulder because, you know, actually we only have an image of him kind of like it like stops the image like here, and the AI was I guess got a bit too sang mode inspired and gave him like way more broader shoulders. But so we have Patrick there, CEO. A little bit of information about Patrick. Underneath him, we have David Barman, probably the top CTO in the world for wireless power transfer. And that's the new leadership of Impulsor.
If I can just hover on David for a moment, what makes him the lead person in the world, you say? What kind of earns him that title?
So he has worked on over 900 patents for wireless power transfer for a multitude of companies, really a lot of them. I can't mention which they are, but I'm sure you can basically AI or Google search it and it will come up with all the sorts of projects that he's been involved in, the sort of IP that he's generated. He's a real craftsman at IP, and as we move forwards into the next stages of Impulsor's development and think about an IPO or a merger or whatever else, we really need his expertise in building out this IP portfolio. So that's his bread and butter, basically.
Very nice, very nice. I actually wanted to see if I can bring something up real quick on David, but maybe I do that after our conversation. I want to deep dive into his background a little bit, but thanks for giving us that overview there.
Absolutely. So we have Patrick, we have David. David's going to bring on how many engineers? I'm counting on his spreadsheet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's going to bring on 9 engineers. I have David's program and plan roadmap in front of me. I can't share it. I wish I could, but Patrick would have problems with me. So I'm gonna refrain. But David's gonna bring in a lot of the engineers and scientists that he's worked with before, and I think it's gonna be a really strong team. I mean, you can't find a better CTO than David for such a project. Now, since we had the pivot from a broad range of WPT or CPT technology company to a defense tech company, we had to stand down a lot of the Swiss R&D guys that we had. So all of the guys in Switzerland, including myself, are now stood down in terms of working directly in developing. This is a legal requirement because due to the war, the Iran-US war, Switzerland's actually imposed sanctions on US defense tech sector. So none of us can directly work for or be an employee, let's say, for a defense tech company. So out with the Swiss, in with the US. That's that's a new arrangement. Regarding myself, I'm making way, and I will be actually on your side, guys. Now,
no way,
be one of the holders. That's right. So especially as we go on through these ACE rounds, we'll be sitting in the same camp. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. So just kind of hovering over that last point that you made. kind of making the move to the US because of the change in laws and things of that nature. So like, how has that affected you guys? Are you moving? Has it affected just the business, um, or has it affected clients, or is it just kind of purely kind of where you guys operate? Like, how has that affected you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why we were quiet for a couple of months, really trying to figure out like what is the state of the world, where are we headed,
Hmm.
what do we want to do, how do we want to accomplish it, what pieces on the chessboard do we have, where are they, how do we optimize? So all of these planning questions, and effectively our most optimal path and the best path for the holders as well is for us to really make it a purely US play. So I'm making way again for David, for his team, giving up equity to accommodate them and yourselves through the ace rounds, and really leaning much more heavily into the US part of the business. We have packed up a lot of the proof of concepts that we've done in Switzerland. We're sending it to the US, David, and we'll kind of, if you want, we can. I think we should spend a little bit of time talking about the roadmap as well that we have for Impulsor.
Got you. Yeah. Well, maybe we jump into that. Let's talk roadmap. Let's just dive into it. I mean, we've seen a lot of what you guys. So you guys have now kind of figured out your direction. You've maybe before roadmap. Let's
Oh, you
talk
know
about
what we
Ace
didn't
Round.
cover? Just, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
You know what we didn't cover? I have some notes
Hmm.
for the first time ever. What we didn't cover, if you scroll a little bit further down on the site, you'll also see
Hmm.
an increased, an advisory section there. So we have David Bell. He's actually the CEO and founder of New Labs, Detroit and Michigan and New York, I believe. Really, incredible entrepreneur. Ben, Jared was Jared is a Forbes 30 under 30
Wow.
guy, so that's really, really strong. Ben is fantastic. I have so many good things to say about Ben. But you know what? I think at some point we should get Ben on MCG, because the first time I connected on a video call with Ben, he was in his pool in Miami. So I think we need that, sipping a cocktail. So this is a sort of energy that we need to bring, I think, to MCG. So
Absolutely. Holy
Ben is
moly.
phenomenal. Chris and Alexander, I haven't actually spoken to them so much. I mean, Patrick's really busy, just adding and adding and adding to this team, to this project. So I actually haven't even spoken to Chris or Alexander yet. I think, is there one further down, or have we not added him
I
yet?
think I
Okay,
think
that is
that's
it.
it.
Okay, we have more
Yep.
on the way. More on the way. There you go.
So as
So
far
that's
as updates, you added some team members, you've added some advisors. Um, let's get into the Ace Round update. That was something that you shared recently. I think that was that's a key moment for you guys. I want to talk about what led you to making that decision to go the Ace Round route, and kind of how that's affected your plans moving forward, or maybe I ask, what did that affect moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, the ace round is super important for us. I mean, we launched on Saw. Saw's now got a different. I don't know. How would you explain Saw, the platform? I guess everyone here knows about the Saw platform, right, Chill? Or do you want to?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's the basically chat. It's a debt backed ownership structure. So kind of same thing as ownership coins, but instead of some of the ways that perhaps an Ace would do it, or a MetaDAO would do it, Soar did it via debt. And so that's kind of the TLDR on it. But you can, with that in mind, you can continue, Roman.
Yeah, so the Saw platform launched. We were the first project on there. I think we did pretty well overall on the launch. As time went by and more projects also launched on SOAR, I think there was some issues, perhaps. I don't know. Effectively, the only token that's now traded on the platform, more or less, is the CPT token, right? SOAR has now, pivoted and done their own second project. But we wanted, the mission initially from the objective from Patrick was to democratize energy and also democratize the opportunity to participate in sort of in startups, exciting startups, and allow a broader audience to come in. And as we looked at the market, as we looked at other opportunities, we saw that actually, I think a couple of holders even mentioned about ace rounds. And we thought that might be an even better way to bring our holders on board for the journey. With the SOAR debt model, you basically had a situation where either the team or SOAR can initiate a liquidity event. And we would be able to initiate a liquidity event at our kind of desire and pay off that debt. So the whole decision-making process was very heavily weighted to us and the team and SOAR. Whereas with ace rounds, you're getting an asset conversion to equity. You're getting real equity in a real company, and so you're able to also make those decisions of when you exit yourself. Versus the debt model, which is entirely reliant on us. So I think that's a far better play for people than a single liquidity event that we can initiate whenever we want.
Got it. And with this, is it fair to say that this is just more so a change in tokenomics, whereas the underlying or the overall business is still churning along?
Yeah, absolutely. This is just our way to bring people on board for the journey. Regarding the business itself, I think you guys all know Patrick. He's sang moding out there in meetings continuously, every day, all day. I'm assisting with the transfer of know-how to David. It's kind of it's ridiculous to say really transfer know-how. David is like top,
Yeah.
But whatever he requires, we send him, of course. No, we did some good stuff on the proof of concept, which we can cover later. But yeah, we're assisting Patrick and David to really do the top job that we know that they can. So yeah, this is really just a change in tokenomics, and it just allows people to get real equity rather than a debt model, which is out of their control, basically.
Got it. Cool. So now that you guys, so wait, let me ask you that, because I want to say the ace round would be this week, if I'm remembering correctly. I'm not sure because I don't think it's happened yet.
So the way it works is, first of all, we will do a window, and in that window, starting from whenever Patrick launches it, I don't even know when he's going to launch it. When Patrick launches the first public ace round, because we've already done a closed ace round. We've already done SOAR itself, because SOAR had quite a lot of tokens. And so we have already converted those tokens that SOAR owns into equity already. So we've done the first private ace round. So the debt model with SOAR is completely finished because we've compensated them with the equity model. Now we have the that's another thing, that the debt model is entirely reliant on SOAR cashing it in as well. So we would initiate SOAR needs to cash it in. So it's just a much cleaner thing to do ace round. So we're going to open up the ace rounds. They're going to be randomized. They're going to be happening frequently, very frequently, and it's going to allow people to come in and either trade or sell, buy, cash in, exchange, convert, whatever. There's a lot of opportunities. We hope that as many people will actually convert to equity as possible. And effectively, whenever Patrick launches these public rounds, there will be material that's going to go out. I mean, I'm pushing this material to be sent out immediately, but there's a couple of drafts. But we're going to send out our material. People are going to be able to read it, understand the process. There is going to be KYC for people to pass, because it's kind of bridging the gap between crypto and equity, right? So it's really a little bit more involved, but I think that's a good thing. I think that's exactly what this industry needs. And I really think it's going to be a big success for all the holders.
Very nice, very nice. So, and I think you answered this as well. Does that mean CPT will have to pay off the debt owed to SOAR before adopting the ace round? You mentioned that debt with SOAR is already taken care of. That's already that, I don't want to say null and void, but that's taken care of already.
Yeah, so our debt agreement is between Impulsor to SOAR, and then SOAR's debt agreement with the holders is another question. We don't see that. So by basically converting SOAR in the first private ace round, we cancel the debt and give them equity. That's the whole point of the ace round. Again, that gives them a lot more security. Actually, they wouldn't do it unless it's favorable for them and for everyone as well, because again, the SOAR mechanism for initiating a liquidity event is entirely dependent on us. Like, we could basically do it at any moment. Obviously we didn't do it because we're not rugging people, but you technically could. So, but with these ace rounds, it's far more protection and control for the holders.
Very nice, very nice. So, thanks for getting us caught up on that. Maybe the other thing that I had,
I think Crypto Jones just asked, like, how much equity are you planning to allocate to the ace rounds? So, we will eventually we'll have a window that's going to last more than enough time for people to decide whether they want to convert or not, and we will allocate enough equity for every single person to convert if they want. Every single round, and there's going to be many rounds, every single round is going to be randomized. So I don't know how much each round, what percentage is going to be. They're going to be randomized for fair competition, for legal reasons. We're randomizing it. I don't know, but we will eventually allocate enough equity for all 100% of the token supply right now to convert to equity.
Got it. Another question here: at what valuation was SOAR converted?
So the way the conversions work is 1-to-1. So I think what was it, like, there's 7 million tokens on chain, right? Is that right, Chill? I think so.
I believe so.
Let's say 7 million. We'll need to check it, but I think it's 7 million out of a possible 100 million. So it's 7%. And they had, I don't know, just for ease of maths, they had 1 million tokens, let's say. So we converted them to 1%. So it was a 1-to-1 conversion. the public ACE rounds, I believe, are also going to be either exactly 1-to-1 conversion or either a little bit more or a little bit less. I think that it like fluctuates. I don't know exactly because it's like the Metal X system. I believe it's very close to 1-to-1. It's either a little bit more, a little bit less. But it's basically 1-to-1. So that's how those ACE rounds work.
Perfect. So we know where you guys are now and what's, what kind of happened over the last few months with the conversion to the ace round. Like, I think we talked about even that being this week or next week or sometime soon. Maybe give me some clarification on that.
Like when exactly the ACE round is going to come in?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Got you.
I think it's there's two reasons why I don't know, or maybe three. The first one is Patrick is the guy who's leading that, and he is sang moding. Number two, I think they maybe don't want to tell me because they know I'm going to come onto MCG and I'm going to talk way too much. I think that's probably the main one. And number three, it's there's a US team now, and they are doing the bulk of the work. And my job is to facilitate the transfer of proof of concepts, write out the sort of the general product direction, and allow David the best start that he can get.
Got it. Very nice. Very nice. So it's probably a good idea because they know that we like to kind of squeeze the alpha out of founders on this show. So I think a good yeah, Crypto Jones said they're on to you. They
are. I mean, my goodness. I mean, they really are. It's a problem for me.
So we don't know exactly when the ace round will be. However, we know that it's coming from. So we know on the token side what's happening.
But it's not going to be just the one. Okay, it's going to be a series of rounds. There's going to be a lot of rounds. So we don't want to we're not going to do one giant round and be like, guys, come in or die. Like, we're not doing that. It's going to be very sort of thought through. We're going to spread it out. We're going to allow everyone to have time to think about it, to come in if they want early, to come in if they want later. There's really no pressure, guys. Just stay up to date. We'll give you the material you need. The ace rounds will be coming in soon. But don't worry, it's not going to be a mad rush.
Got it. So we're caught up on the token side of things. Now maybe let's transition into the tech side of things. How have things been going? I think I forget what our last update was because I wasn't on that episode with you, but maybe catch us up on what's happening with you guys on the tech side.
Yeah, so really, I think the best place to start would be where we are regarding the timeline to launch a product, basically. So we have now proof of concepts done for. I'll start with the least exciting, and then I'll move to the most exciting. So the least exciting, but it's really cool as well, is a phone charger, phone charger, magnetic resonance. So basically, imagine a coffee table that we can all sit around, and we all have a receiver. It's really flat. It's like 2 millimeters, like super thin, less than the width of a coin that you have, and it charges. It's like a vicinity charging system. So if we're all sitting around a coffee table, we're all charging our phones at the same time. So we've done that, proven it, works completely fine. It's now just a question of packaging it. That's literally it. Of course, packaging is complex. It's not easy to package something nicely. I think we all remember the age before Apple when packaging was horrific. So I don't want to undersell sort of the amount of development that needs to happen for it to be packaged up nicely and then in stores. But we have that. We also have a universal charger, so like a USB-C. So again, magnetic resonance, charging a USB-C cable. So anything from your headphones, your computer, iPad, phone, anything that has a USB-C, we've also charged it. So those are two, I'll say, quite exciting developments. It could really reshape the way we work, the way we use our consumer electronics, really to stop thinking about charging all the time. It's really now like connecting to Wi-Fi would be like connecting to power. So that's what's been already achieved, and we're sending it to the US. Now, we also have a working like little robot. There's a little robot, and it can travel around on a surface, charge itself, work round the clock, even without a battery. And that's a real development, really important development, because it allows you to really create these autonomous systems, whether it's ground robotics, UGVs, whatever else you're looking to do. The robots basically, the robots that we can enable just don't run out of power. And finally, we also have a swarm drone proof of concept. So it's a drone, quadcopter, and it's also able to charge in this bubble of energy effectively. And that will allow us to build the swarm drone product. I think maybe if you have the website, we can actually see the swarm drone product.
Where can I find it?
Do you have the website up? Can you put the website up so I can help you?
Here we go.
I think so. Hamburger, and then products.
Got it.
And then further down. So that's a little drone there that we're gonna have. Charge it. I mean, you've seen it before. Or charge with, actually, David proposed a dual mode charging with magres and also induction, just in case we really need to increase the charging speed. We can also do induction. Could you scroll down? I think there's some more information further below. And this is the ground vehicle as well. So again, we have proof of concepts for both of these, and now it's a question of establishing the full team in the US, establishing the new lab space, and building these out, packaging them. But regarding let's say the science part is kind of done, and now it's optimization, it's scaling, but the proof of concepts are good to go.
Very nice. Let me see, make sure there's not another product on here. Okay. So you have proof of concepts for your products, for both of these products that you just mentioned. You mentioned that it's just scaling at this point. Crypto Jones, just kind of to this point, last time that that Patrick was on, he talked about like military contracts. We even saw like an update as well that you guys put out a few weeks or months ago, perhaps. So maybe talk to us about that. Like, how many perhaps contracts are you guys looking to sign, or maybe what kind of progress have you guys made on the scaling side, on the consumer side? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So I'm not sure exactly which post we're talking about that Patrick posted. I mean, Patrick has I can definitely confirm that he's had some very interesting meetings with some decision makers. Hope I'm not going to get in trouble for that. But regarding how we would then convert them to sales, we first need to take those steps on the roadmap that we posted, including the setting up of a new lab, the new team, completing the transfer of technologies and the POCs, and setting up David to be successful. So those steps will come first, I presume, unless, I mean, Patrick, he can pull a trick out the bag at any time. He's the type of guy who's got so many contacts in so many different places. It's kind of scary. So the traditional way is we would set up David. Some months later, we then use Patrick's contacts to scale, get contracts, make sales, all that. But of course, Patrick is able to work his magic at any moment. So I can't. I'm not going to rule it out.
Got it. Sounds good. So it sounds like you guys are making some meaningful progress. Guess it's there's still some steps to take here, but maybe that's a good transition into the roadmap side of things. Like, what are you most excited about right now? What's the kind of main focus for you guys?
Okay, one of the things that I'm personally most excited about it. So if you look at that drone on the image you have there, the proof of concept drone we have now is like half the size of that. It's about half the size of that. We just signed, and the other thing is I have to fly the thing right now. Okay, and I'm very excited because we have signed up with Tashi Network. It's an AI-enabled drone software, and they're basically able to execute missions, landing, charging, all of that. And I'm looking forward to David onboarding that system into the product drone, because I will then be off the hook in case I crash the thing. Because I already crashed a couple of drones and it's not good. So
are they hard to control or what?
Sorry?
Are they hard to control or what?
Oh my god! I mean, these little ones are hard to control. Yeah, especially because it has maybe not the most optimized balance right now. The receiver unit is a little bit bigger than what we wanted. It will be smaller for the real products, but what we have now is a little bit big for the current drone we have, and it's wobbly. It's wobbly. We had I think it's a video I posted on the holders chat of me flying this drone and landing it into our professor's hand. And there was an investor in the room, really big guy. So I was under a lot of pressure not to crash the thing. But thankfully it did not. So that is one thing that I'm personally looking forward to, is the AI integration into the working drone, increasing the size from where it is now, which is half the size of that, making it bigger, making it more powerful. I think that's a really exciting product.
Very nice. Cool. A good question here from Crypto Jones came in actually just a moment ago. Any thoughts on the idea of having a drone either land or sky, or having a drone either land or sky that emits magres and charges itself via induction?
I don't know
thoughts on that?
I have many thoughts. I like it, but I don't know what you mean, Jones. I'm terribly sorry. Maybe you can.
I guess
reword it.
Yeah, Crypto Jones, maybe reword it. But I think what he's trying to say is maybe having, a drone mid-flight charge itself. you know.
Well, you can't charge yourself because you would need something to charge you. Charging yourself wouldn't. Well, I don't think that's what it means. I think maybe he means having another drone charge a smaller one, like a mothership, which is absolutely possible, and we will do that eventually. Like a bigger drone, and it has a bubble of energy around it, and little guys come over and charge and go and complete their mission, whatever it is. That, yes, I think that's probably. The drone is a transmitter to extend range, exactly like a mothership. Exactly, mothership, yes. So the mothership idea, great idea. We will do it. We have thought about that. I think the first stage is really to get that smaller quadcopter off the ground. Right now, again, we have the proof of concept that is about half the size, so we need to increase the size. We need to play around with the receiver placement, the location, but it works, and now we have to set up the team and build this thing.
Got it. Sounds good. So that kind of gets us caught up. We talked a little bit about what you're excited about. I know there was a few other things that you wanted for us to.
There are a few other things, if I may.
Please.
So I think there's a question in the chat. Where in the US are y'all looking to set up? Actually, we're gonna set up, I think, in our advisors ecosystem, which is New Lab Detroit. Detroit also because David Barman doesn't live too far from Detroit. And it's kind of, Detroit has somehow become the epicenter, or one of the epicenters of R&D in defense tech and autonomous systems. They have some areas not too far from there where you can fly your drone. If you crash it, it's okay. So there's some real benefits there. So yeah, the lab, Detroit. One of the other, so you recently planned on manufacturing, moving stateside. How has the transition been going? The transition is a little bit complex. We are packing stuff up in Switzerland, sending it away. There's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of people to stand down in Switzerland, and a lot of people to bring on board in the US. So I think that's also one of the reasons why you haven't heard too much from Patrick lately, is because he's managing all of that. So it's not easy. It's not the easiest, but it is going to plan. Maybe not as fast as we want, but it's definitely going to plan. On the swarm drone video, you said that it will have electromagnetic emission suppression. Does this mean that in common situation you will not be able to detect it? Okay, so this is a really massive point. Now, one of the things that's very important is to suppress emissions of electromagnetic waves, because that can be detected. If you can be detected, you can be destroyed. So actually, this is one of David's initial IPs that he's going to be working on, is a active system that's going to suppress the emissions of EM. And that will allow a much more stealthy system, so you won't be blown up immediately, which is good. It's quite vital, right? You don't want to be blown up straight away. That's not healthy. So I'm going to move on to probably one of the most important factors of what Patrick is working on right now, which is looking forwards. How do we get to an IPO? As many viewers will know, Patrick is the magician when it comes to that. I can say that a lot of talks have been happening. We did post an X update on X about our roadmap, and you'll see there is a section on the roadmap to IPO. I will petition hard to have more information released. I actually don't know that much. Again, probably good for me. But it is being worked on, and I think it may surprise people. Just the speed at which things are going.
Very nice. Wow. So moving towards, no timetables, no promises, but moving towards an IPO in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely. I mean, that has always been the goal, and
Mhm.
Sang mode is happening. So
Seems like some meaningful progress being made in that general area. So that's good. I mean, that's pretty exciting to have an ace round, so that way you can kind of bring the community on for a ride. So it seems like whenever you guys do come out with the ace round, we know that we don't know a timetable, but definitely seems like something. I kind of see the setup here. Ace rounds to give the community access. You guys are hiring, engineers. You're bringing on, a different team members to help you push and scale. And you're moving to the US. There's a lot happening, and I can definitely see where you guys are headed. So excited, man. Excited for you guys. How's the team buzzing? I'm sure, right?
The team is buzzing. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to, guys, is as I complete my role of helping to transfer the POCs, proof of concepts, to the US, complete any sort of assistance that David requires initially, and kind of sitting back with the holders and with you, Chill, and just looking onwards and appreciating where it's going. So that is something I'm looking forward to as well.
Got it. We did have a question. Hiring engineers, etc., requires quite a lot of capital. Did you guys raise any cash already? Spill the beans, they say. They want us to squeeze the alpha out of Roman.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I would love to, but I actually, the information I do know is like several days old, and judging by how quick Patrick is moving, several days is like several months, really. So probably the information I have right now is out of date. So I'm gonna let Patrick spill the beans on that one.
Well, you've given us a lot to go on here so far, so we appreciate whatever beans you have spilled here today
and guys,
on MCG.
If, just write into the chat, holders chat. We have a new group chat on Telegram for holders. It's very important that people migrate from the old one to the new one. That's where the information on the ace rounds and the course on X will be posted. There are some real important reasons for doing that new chat, so please, everyone, move to the new chat.
Got it. Sounds good. Anything else that we went through a lot here. We got a lot of sauce, based on everything you've told us. We talked about the tokenomics change, how important that was. We talked about your pivot to the US, how you guys are now kind of in the middle of that move. We talked about the tech side of things, the progress that's being made there, and even how you guys are planning to scale with some of the best in the world at your side. So any other updates that we might have missed that we should talk about today?
I really think what's undervalued is the additional utility that we put on the token. Genuinely, I know there were some people that say, I don't really like it, but I think, do you know, Chill, the car brand? I mean, I'm sure you know Porsche, the car brand, right?
Yeah.
Do you know
of course.
they have a line of consumer products called Porsche Design. Do you know about
No,
these?
didn't know
So
that.
these are super collectible, really well designed, industrial like style consumer products. They're phenomenal and they're really collectible. And I just love the idea that, maybe in 6 months' time or whenever it is, there's some defense tech products that Impulse is releasing, and also releasing some really amazing consumer products specifically for holders only. I think that's going to be a really loved product in the end. I know people don't like the sound of it so much, but I honestly I wouldn't write it off. I think that's going to be really great.
That's exciting. That's exciting. And right now, we have a really interesting question that just came in through the chat. But Darth Inferno says, from what I understand, there's no product in the market and hence no revenue. Seems it is all still in the R&D stage. We know that you mentioned there's a proof of concept. So on the science side, things are figured out. It's just more of the scaling side. He's mentioned you're still figuring out product market fit, but already planning for IPO. Maybe something undisclosed is justifying this. You know, maybe I just do this. Maybe I just do this. No.
God. I mean, what I'm always impressed about is there's a lot of people online saying, saying this and that about holders and the crypto community. I really think the guys on here, especially on MCG, the guys who watch MCG are really very well informed, smart guys. And such as this comment, it's a very interesting comment. I don't know what I can't answer that right now, but it's a very interesting comment. And there's always really great comments, especially Crypto Jones. I mean, Crypto Jones, one of the heroes of MCG, I think. Always coming
Absolutely.
in with great comments, good questions, always there. I think maybe you should get him online at some point. Now that would be pretty good, wouldn't it? But to Darth Infernal, that's a great question, and I'll leave Patrick to answer that one.
Got it. Got it. Well, I think it's been an amazing segment here. We're gonna get this clipped up. I think there are a few things that we can pick apart. You surely left us with a lot of food for thought. So I'm excited to see what you guys do here in the next weeks and months. I mean, obviously, it's very clear that there's some big things in play in the background. Perhaps there's not much that you can share with us, but it's very obvious that something in the works that we just you just have to kind of keep under wraps for now. But we appreciate you for coming on today, Roman. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure as always. And yeah, guys, stay up to date on things Impulsor, and actually my own account on X. It's now a shared account between the US team and the Swiss team just for now. But soon it's going to be just the US guys. But again, just stay up to date. That's the whole products team now is on that account. So we're going to have updates for you as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Roman. We appreciate you, and looking forward till next time.
Till next time. Take care, guys. All the best. Bye-bye.
All right, Roman. Guys, that was absolutely massive. Dude, so I literally said, yeah, so you guys are, working on some things in the background that are really huge. And he's shaking his head. So obviously there's something that they're working on. And I think that was a great comment, Darth Inferno. Great question for Roman, because I mean, we like to squeeze the alpha out of founders, but obviously it's kind of they can only say so much. But a lot of exciting stuff there that they're working on there at Impulsor. Let's real quick look at the chart. Yeah, let me just pull up the CPT chart real quick, because I just want to get an idea of just where we are in the stream of time from a chart perspective. Here's the chart. Let me share my screen. Bang. There we go. So there's the CPT chart, and I wonder if I can do this. No, that's going to block the ticker. Okay. So maybe we do this. But yeah, here's the chart for CPT. This is on the daily. This is on the 3-day. I mean, I've had the same thing drawn up on the CPT chart for a while now. We're in this kind of bottom zone. I just told you guys between the 0.786 and the 0.886, that tends to be, at least from what I'm noticing, like at this point, like I'm not even doing TA anymore. Like I'm literally just using a measuring tool on the chart to just kind of figure out, exactly like where the highest R&R area is for this particular chart. And right now it's this, this 0.786, 0.886 kind of bid zone, if you want to call it that. But that's kind of like highest R&R, especially if we have good asset selection. I think pretty much, if I do say so myself, from an asset selection standpoint, MCG tends to bring on really good guests. But basically the ideology or the approach that we use for bringing guests on is very similar to the approach that I use for kind of looking at different projects. So from an asset selection standpoint, that's fine. I think now it's just a matter of, all right, where do we want to get in? I mean, it could be the best asset in the world, but if your entry is cooked, then likely your returns will be cooked as well. So yeah, I mean, right now, this from an entry perspective, obviously very, very, very nice entry, because this is pre-announcement levels. This is levels that we haven't. We're at the same levels we were at before they had the ace round announcement, and the announcement about moving into the defense sector in the U.S. So um, obviously a lot of upside potential and really enticing entry. Obviously, it's not might not play out tomorrow, next week, next month, even could even take till next year. Who knows, right? Obviously, IPOs are no like easy, quick moving process. It's a process that takes some time, but exciting times ahead for Impulsor. Guys, dude, I want to show you guys I want to show you guys a really nice project real quick. All right, so one thing I'm going to do is have you guys heard of the new programmable launch that just happened on ETH? The chart looks absolutely fantastic. Let me let me pull that up for you guys real quick. Let me pull that up for you guys. So here is the Impulsor chart. Great talk with the team. Looking good. Let me delete that. Here it is. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. V4. V4. This it's called programmable or something like that. It's at about 1.2 mil market cap. I think this probably has like freaking huge potential in my opinion. But here's why. From what I understand, programmable is a launch pad for V4 strategies, right? So if you remember we talked about earlier right before the stream, and by the way, you guys let me know if there's like anything you guys want to touch on. Today's stream probably might be shorter because not much happening on chain, but I think this is probably one of the things to look out for. Daddy Duster MCG helps us see through the BS. Yes, we do. We help you cut through the noise. But here's the TLDR on this V4 programmable. Basically, you can build your own launch strategy using V4 hooks. It's almost like a tool to kind of make building on V4 hooks. It just lowers that barrier of entry for developers and for builders. So I'm actually like just finding out about this, just found out about it while we're on stream. I even went ahead and shared it with the Discord as well. So let me, oh wow, a couple people already up to 2x since my ping in the Discord. All right, so let's talk about this real quick. Let me do this. Boom, boom. Um, I'm gonna run a quick search on Twitter. Let's do some live. Let's do some live DD, shall we? Let's do some live DD. No, let's do ticker V4. No, let's see, nothing. Maybe we search by contract address, maybe, because this thing is pumping, bro. This thing is absolutely pumping, dude. Let me see if I can. All right, here's some live DD on this. Boom. There's no easy way to deploy V4s. As a trader, there's no way to trust most of the deployed V4s early on. This solves both. Incredibly high upside if adopted as the launchpad for Uniswap's biggest update ever. Wow. In essence, this is what made Pump Fund so successful. They mitigated the LP risk or rug pull risk from coins, and it became an incredibly sticky moat. Sky's the limit. Wow. Yeah, I kind of like that thesis. If you guys look on my V4 hooks post, the homie DJ Griffith, he kind of talks about this a little bit. V4 hooks, the scam your security scanner can't see. Every token safety check you've been trusting is looking in the wrong place. He said for years, scams lived inside the token contract. High sell tax, blacklist, can't sell honeypots, scanners learned to catch those. So the scam moved. In V4, the malicious logic now lives in the hook, not the token. A hostile hook can charge a tax on every swap that the token contract never declares. Let you buy, then make your sell revert a honeypot at the pool layer. Skim a slice of every trade to the deployer. Sit clean at launch, then flip after liquidity builds. The token itself reads perfectly clean, zero tax, sellable, ownership, contract renounced. All true because the trap isn't the token, it's in the hook bolted to the pool. Why most tools miss it. Okay, we don't need to go all the way into that, but you guys kind of get the point here, right? Basically, V4 allows you, like we were talking about earlier, you know, V4 hooks, they, like we were talking about before, they allow you to build custom contracts to do certain things at key moments in relation to the pool. So you can do things like right after buys or sells, things of that nature. Obviously, this allows for a lot of innovation, like was used with the Césaire protocol. But, this could actually be used for, a lot of malicious purposes as well. So right after your buy, like DJ Griffith here says, that there's a lot of different things that could take place. So it's very hard to trust certain protocols because if all they're building is a V4 hook, there's really no way to capture whether that is truly safe. Because like Griffith here said, when you're just using your your terminal, it says that the token is clean, no tax, no, it's sellable, ownership contract could be renounced, it could be no honeypot risk. But if some of these protocols were actually they could actually do some of these malicious things without you being able to detect them. So I think having a launch pad for V4 strategies that kind of mitigates against that security risk can effectively, be something that, does, this is an innovation. This is a true innovation happening on chain. This could actually be pretty big. RJ says bad actor can fake pool parameters or feed unvalidated pool keys to trick a hook into misallocating assets or mixing cross pool liquidity. So again, a lot that can happen, not even at the token layer, like at the pool layer, I guess, that can, be used for malicious purposes. So having something like a V4, uh, um, like this programmable protocol, this is a true innovation on top of an already innovative feature, right? Like Uniswap V4 was hugely innovative, right? We talked about that already, how instead of having to build a DEX, now you just, run some code on top of the Uniswap pool using the V4 hooks. But the innovation on top of that is now mitigating all of that risk, all of that scammy behavior, that causes, makes devs like create all these different mechanisms to basically steal your money, right? Just to scam holders. So you now have a true innovation on top of innovation. And I think that's going to open the door for a lot of builders to essentially come in and be able to essentially come in and be able to create more with the products, with the Uniswap V4 hook product, or I should say feature, um, lowering the barrier for entry for builders, but at the same time mitigating risk for traders. I think that's a very powerful thing here. So just wanted to bring that to you guys' attention. Um, wanted to bring that. Man, I'm gonna give you guys a quick view into the Discord. Someone's like 2x from my entry. um Nice. What's the ceiling on something like this is a question that the Discord have. um let's talk about that. In my opinion, the ceiling is quite high. V4 is doing for V4 hook strategies what Pump Fund did for the Friend Tech bonding curve. Truly innovative, and probably the most interesting thing to launch in the last, launch on ETH mainnet since UPEG probably. Even Ica says here, if it's legit, could go higher. But again, I think we got to take it step by step and see how big the traction it get if they do buybacks, etc. Yeah, so there's a lot there. I mean, look at this chart, bro. It's already hit it's already 2x since we started covering this on stream. So I think that's a crazy, crazy find. Adarsh, my bad. Adarsh Kesarwani. I love the Grid Arena interview with MCG and personally tested their product, and it has the potential to go viral, but they don't have Telegram or proper documentation and don't know how to reach out to them. I love I'm not the Grid interview. Might have to catch me up on what you mean by that one. But while you catch me up on that, let's keep going through. I want to see if there's anything else that I can find. Let's see. 50% of protocol revenue is used for daily buybacks of V4. The repurchased V4 is no longer burned, but directly added to the permanently locked main pool. The reason for pumping the price. The entire chain is warming up. Well, all right. Let's move on from that. Yeah, I just want to see if there's anything that we're missing on this, because this is this is a pretty new launch. And I don't really see much information on it. Yeah, I guess here's the thing. I just want to see, like, number one, I don't know, is this OX programmable? Is this I think this is their Twitter. Let me just go to Deck Screener real quick and make sure. I want to do this live, DD, because I think while it is very innovative, we have to see a few things, right? We have to see adoption. We have to see, like, proof of it actually mitigating some of those security risks that we were talking about earlier. So I think some of that stuff I still need to see. But obviously there's a lot there. There's a lot to be said there. Um, let me see here. All right. So here is I think this is their X. I think that is their X profile. I'm on their website and I just clicked their X profile straight from the website. All right. Launch tokens that work the way you imagine on Uniswap. Ooh, okay. Let's see. Programmable tokens could be complicated. Programmable is the interface for launching Uniswap v4 tokens on Ethereum. Most launch pads simplify token creation. Programmable focuses on what the token can actually do, how its market behaves, and which rules define it. They talked about why Uniswap v4. See. We know that base other ecosystems receiving significant attention beyond the launch model. Okay, so this is we intend to allocate 50% of Programmable's net protocol revenue from tokens launched through the platform to automatic on-chain buybacks of V4. This policy will begin only after the mechanism, contracts, and public reporting are complete. The final terms will be published before any buybacks begin. Buybacks are a use of protocol revenue. They are not a promise of price or return. What Programmable is building begins with one launch model on Ethereum mainnet, but the platform is being built for a much wider range of token and market designs. Each new model will add a defined capability with rules that can be understood before launch and verified on-chain afterward. Projects should not have to accept the generic token because custom market design is difficult. Okay. Let me I do have to read through this article myself. So I'm going to bookmark it for later. Let's read the summary. Programmable is the interface for launching Uniswap v4 tokens on Ethereum. It turns defined v4 systems with hooks into configurable launch models without custom solidity. Okay, so again, lowering the barrier of entry for developers. Instead of having to configure this stuff on your own through using Solidity, if you're not a Solidity dev, then you can now use this. Platform. Classic model creates fixed supply tokens with permanently locked initial liquidity and immutable fees in one transaction. We start on ETH mainnet to build durable contracts and track record before expanding chains. Future models and AI will enable custom market behaviors where the token forms a part of the product. Okay, so essentially, this is just the beginning for them. This is just the beginning for them. Very, 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 very interesting. Let me see here. So apparently, here's the website. Launch tokens that work the way you imagine. And with the launch, it says a straightforward Uniswap v4 token with swap fees fixed at launch. Creator rewards accrue in ETH. Deep trading fees, buy the token and add both assets to the original permanently locked pool. That's unavailable. So, okay. So, all right. So there's still a lot of questions to be answered. But in my opinion, I think we've found something that's pretty freaking innovative. I mean, while people are chasing the TikTok meta on Solana, I'm buying the freaking the next V4 Uniswap v4 hooks innovative protocol. And low key, that's a tweet. That's crazy. Okay. Wow. People shooting order 20K buys at it. All right. Wait a second. That's crazy. Remember, a lot of ETH whales have been dormant for a long, long time. They haven't really, a lot of ETH people have been very, very resistant, coming into, they've resisted coming on to Solana for quite a long time. And so, when something pops up that's pretty interesting, just like Unipeg went to 20 mil, something like this I think potentially could do very well. But let's look. Here's the chart. Let's look at some of the buys that have been coming in. Um, and let's do this. Let's do minimum. Let's do minimum 5,000. Let's see. Let's see if there's anyone actually. Wow, look at this. Just within the last couple of minutes, we had a 14K buy. Wait, is this the same Addy? No, no, no. These are different. These are different wallets. But 6K buy, 15K buy almost. Another almost 6K buy just within the last couple of minutes. Um, that's actually crazy. I wonder, like, if we were to lower this to 1,000. Um, wonder. Look, $2,000 buy just came in. $1,600 buy. 2,000. Yeah, a lot of decent buys coming in here over the last few minutes. Clear that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think we are genuinely we have see we're seeing something truly innovative like launch. And I think there's a lot of questions to be answered, right? Like questions as far as revenue, buybacks, like how all of this stuff is going to work. But I think V4 hooks is truly innovative of a feature. I think it took stuff like Cesar, stuff like this, people building on top of it to really understand how innovative it is. I think Prism was the first to build something that was really innovative like this. But um, I mean, Ika in the Discord, he says it's a cycle defining narrative for ETH mainnet. Wow. So I think we have stumbled on something that's pretty bullish. I think it's just a matter of figuring out, how sustainable is it over the long term? What's the traction? What kind of what are they doing? Guess some of the early investors in ETH follow account. Someone named One Confirmation. What? All right, let's look. So I have this tool here. Let's see. Renaissance. Wow, this is on his radar pretty early, huh? Renaissance. Let's see. Boom, boom. Some BD guys. One confirmation, you say? Building Ondo. No, no, no. All right, hold on. Who's followers that I know? Snotty. A lot of solid follows on this. Holy cow. Yeah, a lot of people know about this one. Um, let's see. One confirmation. I don't know. I don't know who that is. I was gonna try to see if I can find him, but I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can. But that would be bullish if ETH early investors, again, like I mentioned, there's a lot of ETH guys that simply just are not active. They're not actively investing on chain because they feel like there isn't much to invest in, which in some way, shape, or form, they could be right. I mean, if you literally sat on your hands over the last like 10 months, you're probably, you probably outpaced 90% of traders, 80% of traders at least, you know, um, in terms of like portfolio performance. So yeah, I mean, now that something truly innovative is like being built, I think we're gonna see a lot of like whales sort of start coming out. Last thing I want to take a look at on this is just their Twitter programmable. We've decided not to burn the V4 purchase with revenue from the programmable ecosystem. Instead, we're adding it to the permanently locked main pool. Every buyback now serves two purposes: buying V4 and deepening the liquidity. Wow, how deep is the liquidity now? Okay. Oh, dude, 3x from the oh my god, dude, this thing is going crazy. 3x almost hit a milli, but I mean, in the Discord, I hit that one at 600K mid interview with Roman. Talk to me nice. I do that. Um, yeah, I pinged. I scanned this at 680K market cap. Solid. Um, all right. Let's see here. So I just want to look through their Twitter just to make sure we're not missing anything. Offer launch models built by us. Okay. More soon. Protocol revenue buybacks. Okay. The next launch model on programmable.family will be adaptive. Creators will define how trading fees change as a token grows. Draw the curve and launch. The full curve is fixed on chain and cannot be changed later. We are building and testing the contracts now. Okay. So some kind of like basic um some basic features, right? Some basic like launchpad type of features. But this is looking really, really good. I'm gonna go ahead and get off stream. I'm gonna jump off stream. I'm gonna read this article. I think we just covered something. I think we just found something bullish. Dude, look at that, bro. Dude, look at that. That pullback got ate up immediately, dude. Immediately. Let me see some of the buys that came in. Let's see some of the buys that came in. Dude, look at these buys that are just coming in, buying these dips up, man. That's crazy. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me go ahead and get off stream, boys. I want to research this a little bit more. If you guys, if you guys have anything else, definitely let me know. But genuinely, I think we've just discovered something pretty, something pretty innovative here live on stream. All right, boys. GG's. I will see you guys. I'll be on Friday. Good stuff. Hey, appreciate you, Daddy Duster. Dude, live on stream, I'm interviewing Roman and I see this come across my screen and I'm like, holy freaking crap, this could go crazy. And so I pinged it in the Discord. And I'm still trying to like keep up with the interview with Roman, which was a great interview. That was a great segment, but just glad that I can, capture that for you guys. Yeah, fact. Fact. All right, boys. Appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to MCG. Real quick, I want you guys to do me a huge favor. It seems like we have more of a core audience here today. Hey, yo, buy me a crib, dog. Look, whatever, man. Whatever you want to do, I'm cool with it. Crib, car, watch, or just a like and retweet on an MCG stream. Whatever, man. Whatever. I'm down for it all. But what was I gonna say here? Yeah, it feels like there's like a core audience here. We only have like 550 viewers. It's on a down day today. So I'll say this. Let's all just real quick, if you guys can do me a huge favor. Let's go to @MCG live, right? Let's do something a little. It's going to be a similar to housekeeping, but also a little bit different. Of course, make sure you're hitting the follow button for sure. Appreciate y'all for 13.2K. I want you to go under this stream and just type in discovered some alpha live on stream. I'm going to type that myself. Discovered some alpha live on stream. Bang. Just real quick, do that for me. Let everyone know that we're actually out here uncovering some craziness on stream. This is actually huge, but just for the clip's sake, I'll just summarize basically everything. So that way we understand. And then we can get a good clip out of this later. So what did we just discover? We just discovered essentially a launch pad that's able to create launch models using Uniswap V4 hooks. As we know, the Uniswap V4 hooks is an innovation that was shipped by the Uniswap team, where basically Uniswap V4 hooks are a pool. You can imagine a pool that just swaps tokens, right? But what this V4 hook does is it essentially allows developers to run code and code into the pool certain actions that can be done at key times at key times of the trade, right? So maybe right after the trade, or right before a trade, there's a limit order or what have you. But basically, V4 hooks, the innovation is that instead of having to rebuild a DEX to then put features on it like dynamic fees, like limit orders or yield generation or what have you. Instead of doing all of that, V4 hooks allows you to directly use the Uniswap infrastructure to then hook into using code whatever added feature you want. And this opens the door to an entirely new set of possibilities when it comes to tokenomics. And the innovation that V4, this project that you see on screen, is that now V4 basically allows it lowers the barrier of entry for developers because it creates different launch models using this V4 infrastructure. So now developers can come in, they can use these different they can use these different launch models in a variety of ways. And the key thing here is that, V4 hooks was being used maliciously by developers because before the tokens, through like a scanner or what have you, the tokens, they could actually be scanned and be seen as malicious, right? Maybe the ownership contract isn't renounced, maybe it's mintable, maybe there's buy or sell tax that's malicious. But using these V4 hooks, these malicious tokens are now invisible to trading terminals and things, because it's not at the token contract level. It's something that happens right before or right after a trade is made in the pool. And so V4 also allows for this sort of this security risk to be mitigated due to its underlying technology, because it allows you to not only create Uniswap V4 strategies and launch them through the platform with your token, but it now also allows traders. From a trader standpoint, it mitigates all of that that risk and all of that security risk that takes place. So essentially no malicious tokens will be launched through this platform, or at least it mitigates as much as it can. I'm sure developers will find some way, shape, or form to use this as a way to scam. But from an innovation standpoint, this is probably one of the best things that you can see that you've seen on ETH since probably UPEG. And like our Discord has mentioned, this can be a cycle defining moment for Ethereum. So happy to have discovered that on chain and on stream with you guys here today. And I wanted to summarize that for the clip's sake. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. We'll end the stream on that. I got a ton of research and digging to do, but I'll catch you guys in the Discord. I'll see you on the timeline. Peace. Yeah. And by the way, love to see innovation on chain again. Feels good. Deuces, y'all.